Выключите, да?
Да, вообще, да.
Turn the light on.
Life underground in St. Petersburg is a world of darkness, secrecy, and fear.
He wants you to hide it. He wants you to hide the camera.
Потому что не надо на улице, увидят люди.
He doesn't want anybody to see that you are taping.
Там никого нет, Лукас.
Там есть, я что не слышу, там
15-year-old Max has agreed to take us down to the abandoned basement where he and other homeless children live. He guides us through a maze of dark doors and hallways. On any given night, up to 20 children will share this cold, abandoned basement room. Max says that these beds were found in a dumpster and smuggled in at night. 12-year-old Sergei shows off the boys' and girls' bathrooms. Here is their food for the night. Max works on the wiring and the fuse box so they will have some light. He tells us that this is a good place, with many ways in and out. Their last basement hideaway was set on fire by another group of street children. The air in this tiny, damp underground room is thick with the smell of glue and shoe polish. Inhaling toxins is the drug of choice for these children. Cheap and easy to get, it helps to erase the memories of a night spent begging or stealing, or selling yourself to a stranger in order to buy some milk or cheese. Although the high does not last long, it will dull the hunger, the cold, and the depression. Abused, neglected, and forgotten, these children are a part of a generation that has lost its hope for a future. It is a hope that Doctors of the World is committed to rebuilding, beginning in the basements of St. Petersburg. Doctors of the World, making health a human right. Max stopped sniffing toxins almost 1 year ago, shortly after he started coming to the drop-in center operated by Doctors of the World. Other than the police, this is often the first point of contact kids like Max have had with adults since leaving home. Without proper registration, children in Russia are denied access to health care. Infectious diseases, malnourishment, skin diseases, and depression are common.
С детства начинал, когда у меня родители умерли, да?
My parents died when I was young. They were alcoholics. My brother was a drug addict. He died of an overdose. When I was a child, I began to steal, like my parents and my brother.
I have the same bad conditions that my friends have. Their parents abuse them. My parents drink.
It often starts with a simple cup of tea. Soon the children will begin to open up to the Doctors of the World staff of psychologists, social workers, and nurses.
Sometimes I can't sleep. My mind thinks about all kinds of things. I dream about myself. They are nightmares about being beaten. For the last month, every night, I've had bad dreams, nightmares.
Artur has hepatitis C, which is incurable. It is likely that he will become very sick and perhaps die, and everyone at the drop-in center knows that. But still, it is nice that he comes there, just to sit next to someone, to be encouraged, to be listened to, and to be talked with. He often talks about death. That is a very real problem for him.
Usually a child comes to the drop-in center when they're brought by some friends. The first time they come, they arrive from the basement, so they're dirty. They can take a shower and we give them clean clothes. The effectiveness of the drop-in center is based on the love and trust of the kids. The first thing we do is respect each child.
Sasha was our first client here at the drop-in center. He came in about a year ago, and his head was all bruised and injured because he was beaten all over his face. He is our old friend.
making a connection with these kids is very difficult and it takes some time. Our staff make these connections, and once the kids are engaged in our services, they help the children to figure out what the next step is. For Roma, for example, he needed a warm place and a safe place to do his homework. For Alexei, he needed some help with his wounds. For Sasha, he needed somebody to believe that he could go back to school. Even for these kids, getting a basic service, such as having a hot cup of tea or being warm for a couple of hours, brings back to them a dignity that they deserve as a human being.
Abandonment is not unique to teens and adolescents. Russian infants, toddlers, and young children are also the victims of families in crisis.
It is a problem, especially with young children. They leave them on the streets. This child, the grandmother gave up because they were having problems at home. They decided he would be better off here. He has been here a long time already.
Children in crisis in Russia basically have two options: institutions or the street. Doctors of the World provides another option. Over the past 2 years, we have built a pioneering foster care program in St. Petersburg.
The Doctors of the World Family Placement Program recruits and trains potential foster parents and then places children with a Russian family, following up with support and counseling for up to a year. The program has been so successful that the St. Petersburg government has agreed to enact legislation promoting the establishment of similar projects across the regions of the city.
Russian families have come forward to embrace this idea, and we have had 100 successful placements.
For children abandoned by their parents and living on the street or in basements, their dignity has been lost, sold, or traded in order to survive for another day. Doctors of the World has helped Max return to school and is working with officials to have him placed in a shelter. From there, a foster family and vocational training become real possibilities. With your help, Doctors of the World can continue to provide critical medical care, counseling, crisis intervention, and family placement services. Along with a quiet word of encouragement, a winter coat, and a first step back into a world where every child has the right to a home, a family, and a future. Doctors of the World, making health a human right.